Well, what makes our leadership and culture different is it really starts actually with our customers. And that's set the tone for our leadership and culture and our values. And that goes right back to the beginning when we started the business and we realised that actually trying to go out there and present ourselves as some kind of experts or business experts or guru didn't work because we had to put the customer first. And interestingly, what we found was that the more we went out completely naked into a room and actually didn't try and go out presenting anything or presenting any expertise from our side, and the more we listened and understood what was important to the customer, the more successful we became. So really, we found that it was all about making an emotional connection, and it wasn't about a technical intervention or proposition. It was very much about what the customer, what was their priority and what was important to them. And we always make the customer the hero of the story. It's all about them. It's not about us.
Our top priority in leadership and culture is really finding similar people that think like us, that share our values. So it's doing business with people that get what we're about. So we share our values and our ethos with everybody that we meet, potential franchisees, potential customers, potential strategic partners, and we obviously share it with our team as well back at HQ. And really, when we go out there, we want to actually live and breathe our values. They're not like things that you pin up on a wall in a corporate office. We actually live and breathe our values, and we share those, and we communicate them all the time with everybody we come into contact with. Our values are ethos, humility, confidence, trust, and empathy.
Our culture over the years hasn't really changed. It's just evolved and adapted to the circumstances we found ourselves in. So we believe that when you go into business, any business, and we share this thinking with our clients as well, is that your values don't change regardless of what business you're in. So our core values, which are really centered around the most important two of those values is confidence and humility. And they're an interesting balance because you've got to have the confidence to be humble. And combine that with the ethical approach we take with our customers. And what that's all about, of course, is it comes together to create trust. And what we learned was when we were engaging with the market on a direct basis, and this is something we've transferred into the franchise network, is that customers weren't actually buying what we do, strategic planning and all the technical things that we do for a business. They weren't even buying how we do it. They're actually buying why we do what we do. And it wasn't until we saw Mr. Simon Sinek many years ago now that we realized that he naturally articulated what we'd been doing without realizing it. People they buy into the fact we're genuinely interested in their business and we genuinely want to make a difference to them. That's what they end up buying, the fact that we actually care and we do this for a reason. We're not just trying to make a sale or to win another client. The thing we really found fascinating about Simon Sinek was that he talks about the why, and at first it's quite a difficult concept to understand, but we realised that it was something we were doing without thinking about it, and it was something that our clients were definitely buying from us because they needed to have that emotional connection. It was fascinating what he talked about in terms of which parts of the brain make the decision. That's been absolutely core to our whole culture, and trying to transfer that into our franchisees isn't possible. You have to find franchisees and employees that understand that and live and breathe that whole approach.
We measure the success of our ethos and our values in three ways. First and foremost, with the way we engage with the team. We have regular workshops with them, regular meetings with them, we get regular feedback from them, which we share with them. Secondly, with the franchisees, we survey them twice a year on everything that we're doing and what we're doing, our ethos, and making sure that the brand ethos is still there. We use WorkBuzz for one of those. And thirdly, with our customers. Because we're ISO 9001 approved, we actually ask our clients how they've found the engagement with the relevant business doctor in their local community to assess whether or not they're getting the quality of service that we'd want them to have. We've now become an international business over the last 10 years. We're now in 16 countries. And what we've had to do is to find people that share those same values and ethos that we've already described. And that's very hard, especially to do it at arm's length. We've actually recently opened in Bulgaria without having ever actually met the two guys that are running it over there. And right from the very beginning, over Zoom, it became absolutely abundantly clear that they shared all the values and the ethos. They got us. They got what we were about. And it's just worked right from the beginning.
Values and culture, they take on a third dimension in international franchising because we're trying to also relate to the culture of that particular country. So But having said that, the foundations of the business don't change, the core values don't change. It's just how they are then translated into the relevant behaviours in that particular country. And that's where we have to trust the franchise partner overseas to understand that. We can't actually manage that remotely. They have to take responsibility of how the brand is translated into their local culture. I think the future for Business Doctors is all about actually reflecting what's relevant in the market, and what we've learned through the pandemic is that actually businesses are a lot more open to being supported through a multitude of levels. It's not just about face-to-face, which is traditionally how the Business Doctors brand has been established. Building relationships in local business communities, that's still important, but we need to have that agility to work with them online and to give them platforms to build their strategic plans and implement those plans using technology. So it's all about investing in that. We've done a lot of work in investing in digitisation during pandemic. Our franchisees are now fully equipped to engage their customers and to grow their business and scale their business through the technology we've invested in. And that's going to continue because we see the wider globalisation of the brand and the transportation, the portability of the brand being digital. We no longer see that we need to engage with master franchise partners wholly to enter a new market, because the digitisation makes it much more accessible and portable to individual franchisees in those overseas territories.
We will still maintain our support and growth of the business in the UK. It's where our core foundation is. We want to support our existing franchisees and build on them. And obviously we've got the opportunity to increase the international element of our business. We're currently talking to a guy in Germany who's looking at taking the master license for North Rhine-Westphalia. And we're also talking to a really, really good guy in Cairo who not only wants to take the master license for Egypt, but is actually looking at taking the master license for the whole of the Middle East. So onwards and upwards. If there's one thing all our franchise partners have got in common, is that they genuinely want to make a difference. They want to take their corporate experience they've had over the 20, 30 or 40 years previously, whatever industry that's been in, and they want to make a difference to businesses in their local community and become the go-to person in that local community who's going to deliver that hands-on, get to grips and make a difference business support.